Okay, so I've been anchored here nearly 3 nights now, or 3 nights and 3 days. One particular day was so windy that I couldn't go anywhere, literally. But the other days I've managed to take some time out and kayaking onto land, do my chores like empty rubbish and go and do a shop, have a beer and have some breakfast at a cafe, and have a good walk and a nice kayak. But one of the things that's given me comfort and being able to leave the boat with such strong winds around, and you can probably hear that gust there, which is on only 15-20 knots. We've had consistently 20 knots until about now, and we've had a day of 25 to 30, gusting over 30. But what I did, I believe this time I've really anchored well. So I've chosen a really good site. It was blowing for 3 days in more or less in a similar direction, so from a direction from west through to north, and strong in that direction. So I've chosen a shore, an east coast shore on the east side of Phillip Island, a place called Cleland Bight near San Remo, and I've chosen, it's a muddy bottom, and I've chosen to come in and find a spot that at low tide is about 2.5 meters, and at high tide about 4.5, maximum 4.7. So what I've done is think of that 2.5 and 4.5, call it. I've put out 25 meters of chain and my trusty 30-pound CQR, and I put a snubber on that's about 6-7 meters long, even longer maybe, and what that snubber's done is really changed things, putting a long snubber on and putting so much anchor chain out. What it's done is the boat has moved only in an arch of the chain as the winds moved from west through to north and back, and also we're in quite a tidal area, so the tides moved basically from north to south, and the anchor snubber being so long and being made of nylon has just given that little bit of elasticity, and the boat's movement has been really gentle. So it's been howling outside at times, and the boat's just been gently bobbing along, even though the water might be bouncing a little bit outside. But just to give you an idea, on my iSailor app I've got an anchoring application part of it, and what it enables me to do is to set an anchor circle around the boat, and if I broach that circle, in other words if I move beyond that circle, a loud alarm goes off. So I'm just going to show you what I've got. So I'm hoping that you haven't got too much reflection of me there, but what I've got there is, it's on night vision, which is why we've got those sort of dark colours. That's an ISO bar between what is effectively 2+ meters of depth into 3.5. So I've chosen to come into this section, land here. San Remo is up here, and the Bass Strait is down there. And the tide comes in and out like that, quite strong. The wind has been mostly in that direction, but as you can see, over the 3 days, the little red anchor in the middle is technically where I dropped the anchor, but it's not quite correct. It's where I switched the machine on. It's plotted that point. So really I put the anchor out about here, and we have swung as the wind has changed from north to west, and as the tides come north to south, we've kind of swung in a crescent shape there. Now the crescent shape there is, the distance between there and there is about 30 meters, and I put 25, it's about 30 meters, and I put 25 meters of chain out. So I'm comfortable that we actually haven't dragged anchor at all, and it's been the most comfortable most non-eventful anchorage that I've been to. I've dragged anchor so many times, and I think I might have cracked it with a combination of length of chain. This is probably at low tide, it's it's a scope of 10, and high tide it's a scope of about 6. So I could have put even more, so that at high tide we're a scope of 7, but in hindsight that what I did was good. So this has been informative. Talk to you soon.